Hey guys, SFP here, and welcome to another episode of my FIFA career mode for DC United, episode 12. And I believe this is the last episode before we start doing the playoffs. So hopefully I'll be able to get a better spot here because at the moment I'm in 5th place. And while this qualifies me for the playoffs itself, obviously I want to get into a higher seed so I could theoretically get a weaker opponent and have a more easier time getting into the playoffs. At the moment, I'm making a couple changes here before I start. Putting in a Davy Arnaud for Lee Silva, who's going to take a little break here. Anyways, guys, this is the second episode of this weekend. And actually, since I actually managed to play the playoff games, I will also be uploading them either later tonight or possibly tomorrow the afternoon. So it's really exciting. It's finally the first season's finally done, and it only took about a couple of episodes. And this is kind of what I want to do because I want to get you guys into the, I guess, accustomed to the fact that every 12 to 15 episodes, depending on how far I get into the playoffs, that's how long a season will be. That way you'll get used to it, and you will basically expect at least like a 12 episode season. Kind of like kind of like shows on TV, or Netflix. You expect a 13 episode season, maybe an 11 episode season, or I guess the CW shows tend to have like 20 to 24 episodes, which I guess depending on your the type of shows you watch, you may actually favor a 12 episode over a 24 episode. But I like to have short seasons, so to speak, because the quality tends to be better when it's not spread out uh, between episodes. And here I go stealing the ball here, and hopefully I'll be able to get a nice shot in. Nice by Aguilar, and a nice save there by Willis. And Incoom there, ex-DC United players. I really do miss Willis, because Dijkstra's not cutting it here. And a nice pass for Aguilar. Aguilar passes it to Arieta. Arieta shoots. Oh, and a nice save there by Willis. And I guess it was offside, so it doesn't even matter, even if it went in. And I think this is one of the instances where I should have just gone for the shot, but I guess I didn't see that Arieta was in an offside position, so that's my bad, guys. Miguel Arieta's in the box. Will he shoot? No, he's gonna pass, and I think that's a PK. Ref, that's a PK. Here we go again at the box with Davy Arnaud, and that's a foul. Come on, guys, that's a foul. And unfortunately for me, it's right outside the box. I still haven't mastered free kicks yet, so bear with me, guys. This might be really close or it might be really ugly. Believe it or not, that's probably the best free kick I've had all this season. And here we go with Arieta, and a nice sneak there. Will he able to get there? Arieta Aguilar. Oh my God! What a close shot there by Aguilar. Just a little. If it would have gone a little bit under, it would have won in. Anyways, and that's halftime with a 0-0 scoreboard at the moment. And I'm going to make a couple changes here. The usual Jeffrey in for Perry Kitchen. And I'm taking Martin in and taking out Davy Arnaud. And I'm putting in Doyle as well. And I believe I'm taking Arieta. So hopefully these changes will change the momentum of the game and get me on the scoreboard. Aguilar to Doyle, who just came in, calling Martin. Nice pass to Aguilar. Will Martin be able to take the shot? And it's just wide. Speaking about games, at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, it's the New England Revolution game versus the Colorado Rapids, and the Revolution are up 1-0, and it was a nice goal by Juan Aguilera. It's nice to see him be back in form, because the kid had so much potential, and I guess technically he still has potential. I don't see him having as much potential as I did before because of that slump, but who knows, maybe within a couple more games I'll be able to see the same quality player that the aspiring, talented player that we all know he can be. Colin Martin. Martin's going to shoot. And a nice save there by Willis. And here's one of my blunders. Luckily, nothing came out of that. Well, actually, it was their blunder. No, it was my blunder. I like to play from the back, so to speak, and sometimes I get a little too cocky and actually give it straight to my opponent. So this will probably not be the last time this happens. And here we go again with a counterattack. Aguilar. It's 3-on-1. Passes it to Doyle. Doyle's all alone. He's going to center the ball and pass it to Aguilar. Aguilar, nice first touch. Shoots. Goal. What a goal in the last minute of the game to steal the 3 points away from BBVA Compass Stadium. You know, part of me doubted whether I should have taken the shot or maybe pass it to Doyle. Or not Doyle, whoever was on the right side of Aguilar. And obviously Dykstra there is happy. Men in Blazers. And Miguel Aguilar's first goal of the season. Coming towards the end of the season, but hey, at least he got on the scoreboard, and that's his first one of his rookie season as well. Now I just have to hold on here, and hopefully the game is over, which it is, and I managed to steal 3 points away at Houston, or in Houston. Oh, and it looks like Chris Pontius is not happy. I'm assuming it's playing time. That's one of the interesting things about having a team that isn't exactly a 5-star team, that your depth players tend to be about the same level as your starting players, and so the roles they have tend to be the same, and so technically not everyone's going to be happy unless you constantly rotate. And as you guys see, I think I rotate more. I rotate more than most other YouTubers out there, and still, some of the players are still unhappy, which I guess is to be expected. And here we go. I'm on third place here, and hopefully I'll be able to get. I'm only 2 points away from Toronto, who's in first place. However, I have 2 games, or they have 2 games in hand, so that is not good because I'm gonna have to depend on them to drop some points if I actually want to get first in the East. And here we go with against the Philadelphia Union, who unfortunately are having a slump of a season so far. They've shown flashes of brilliance and technique. However, the results they obtain don't seem to reflect that. And the journeyman Latu is not on the field. Oh, that's interesting. And there is Maurice Adu, the captain. And here's the game starting again. And quickly I go with Eddie Johnson, who cuts back. He's going to shoot. And it was a simple save there by Ray Simboli. And now Spinell's going to give a shot. He's going to cut back as well. He's got it all the left side, and no. And Boli says no. And now for the Philadelphia Union had their shot, and a nice save there by Hamid. And I believe that is the half. Or is it not? So the first half, we've had a couple of chances, and maybe Philly has had one, but so far there wasn't much to see here, and hopefully the second half will be more interesting. Pushing in Wolf, and I'm putting in Arieta here for Eddie Johnson, or is it I ended up choosing Eddie Johnson. I think I typically switch Arieta for Spindola, but I figured I might as well switch it up here a little. I managed to steal the ball there, and can Spindola make something? Shoots, and again a nice save by Ray Simboli. And he's going to get a yellow. Fabio Espinal is going to get a yellow, and I'm not sure why. Let's get the replay there and see what exactly happened. Yeah, that's worthy of a yellow. That is definitely worthy of a yellow. Jack Mack. Oh, forgot Jack McInerney. He's not in Philly anymore. And that's it for this game. 0-0 game. And now I only have 2 more games to get as high on the table as I can. And I'm still holding that third position, the third place, but let's see here. New York Red Bulls actually are 2 points away with 2 games in hand, so that might quickly change as I go here against the Sporting Kansas City. And before I do so, I'm just going to go here with the monthly squad report. As we see, Chris Fines is unhappy, while everyone else seems to be pretty happy. Oh, Fabian Spindler is also unhappy. Well, that's not good. Oh, Chris Rolfe, he went down. And Galesi, the goalkeeper, went up. That's good. No, that's probably why Fabi is unhappy. He wants a contract. He wants a new contract with more wage, I'm assuming. So here we go, 15,000 a week, I believe, or per game. But he wants 30, and unfortunately, I forgot to readjust my budget, so I have to do that right now, guys. I apologize for the inconvenience. That should be enough here. So 1 more year, increase it to 30. And he's a crucial team player, which you probably will want to keep, so I'm going to switch that. Okay, and here we go with the start of the penultimate game of the season, guys. Putting Valverde in for a while, and I guess I'm putting Mina as well, if I'm not mistaken. And will I be switching goalkeepers? No, I'm keeping Hamid. Okay, guys. I guess I'm... Oh, okay, I see what would happen. I think I pressed the back button by mistake and it basically reset my squad, so... So here we go against Sporting KC with the traditional handshake here before the game. And there's Dom Dwyer. Speaking about Dom Dwyer, man, that guy is a lucky dude, man. While everyone was crushing on Alex Morgan, I was going on to the next person, which was Sydney Leroux. Now, I think Sydney Leroux is one. I think she's more of a baller, if that's the correct terminology. And I find her more attractive than Alex Morgan. And so Dom Dwyer, man, is a lucky dude. And then there's always, the talks of him possibly representing the U.S. men's national team. I'm not sure if that's ever going to happen. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but currently with the situation that's been going on, don't think I don't think he'll be able to actually accomplish it. Because if I'm not mistaken, he's about mid-20s by now, and he needs a couple more years before he can get his citizenship. And so by the time he does get it, depending on how quickly they fast track it, it could be a couple years. And so he'd probably be good for only one World Cup, depending on whether or not we have depth in that position. Because who knows, maybe 2 to 3 years we get a plethora of strikers and we won't have the need to nationalize uh, Dom Dwyer. So it really depends on what the situation is at the moment. And who knows, maybe Klinsman won't even be coach. And for those of you wondering why I said that, I'm a little bit fed up with it, with him, with Klinsman. I was a big Klinsman supporter when he came in. However, these last 10 or 12 games that I've seen from him, I'm not a big fan of because we tend to have the same pattern. We always lose the game in the last. We always lose the lead in the last minutes of the game, and it'll end up either in a draw or in a loss, and that's frustrating. And honestly, I don't care if we lose or win. But if there's a pattern that needs to be fixed and it's not being addressed, then what's the point of him being there if he's not going to fix whatever needs to be fixed? And that was a nice shot there that hit the post. And I think this is actually going to be a short game. There wasn't really much to see, guys. I apologize for that. Maybe I can sneak something in here real quick. And no, a simple save here for Marin, who I believe is a Chilean goalkeeper. Just got into the team this season, so I don't know much about him. All I know is that he played in South America. There's Sansuzi, how they call him in Mexico, the way they call him in Mexico. And anyways, guys, there's one more match left, and I'm holding on to that third spot at the moment. And it seems that New York didn't take advantage because they were right behind me, and now they don't. I think they actually dropped one spot. Anyways, I'm happy to announce that Fabian Spindola did manage to agree to the contract, so we signed it. So we have that taken care of, and we don't have to worry about him being unhappy and leaving towards the end of the season. Press conference here. These typically don't work, and I know they don't work, but it's always fun to imagine that they do. And I see the assistant managers telling me about people who are leaving. And anyways, here, if you see the board here, I'm in 5th place, but 2nd to 5th is all 48 points. So basically, it's anyone's game here. If I win, I could jump all the way up to 2nd, depending on the goal differential. If I lose, it doesn't matter really. I'm still going to be in the 5th spot. So this isn't much. So officially, I'm in the playoffs. So this isn't important in the sense that whether I make it or not, but it will depend. It will determine what seed I get. And as you see on the board there, obviously I can't reach Toronto FC. They're going to be the first seed here, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that they're going to win the Supporter Shield this season. But hopefully, if I get a victory here, I'll be able to jump to 2nd place, especially since the Montreal Impact are currently 3rd, if I'm not mistaken, at the table at the moment. So getting a victory here would be crucial for me to get to that 2nd spot. And currently, the Montreal Impact aren't doing so well in the season. They're not doing as bad as previous years, but there could be some improvement. However, they are playing very well in the CONCACAF Champions League. And it's nice to see because the team itself has had a big history with the CONCACAF Champions League even before they went to MLS. I remember back in their pre-MLS era, because I honestly don't remember if they were playing. I want to say they were playing in the USL, but I'm not 100% sure. So in order to avoid me basically looking like an idiot, I'm just gonna say the pre-MLS era. They managed to get, if I'm not mistaken, they got to the semifinals after they beat a Mexican team in Mexico. Oh, and what a nice save there by Hamid. And in general, actually, the Canadian teams have represented MLS very well in the CONCACAF Champions League. I can't say much about the other teams here, and I'm not sure. Maybe it's a mentality. Maybe it's just the fans that they are more aware of international tournaments or appraise the international tournaments more than the fans do here in the States. But who knows? All I know is that as long as they're representing MLS well, I can't really complain. Although I must say it would be a little weird to have the first MLS team to win the CONCACAF Champions League, at least this iteration of it, be from Canada. I always, I guess, expected like an LA Galaxy, a DC United, maybe Seattle Sounders, or a Real Salt Lake when they had their chance in '09 to do it, and that would have been great, and I wouldn't have batted an eye. Now, if Montreal do it, it would be interesting because of, I guess, I guess it would be interesting for Canadian teams just because they haven't fared well uh, in the MLS regular season, and I guess to a certain respect the MLS playoffs. Toronto, who's actually fared better in the CONCACAF Champions League, has never made the playoffs. I believe Vancouver has made it to the first round, which is the knockout round, and after that they haven't gone any further. And I believe the same can be said about Montreal, but yet these Canadian teams are playing very well for the international tournament of the CONCACAF Champions League. Anyways, that's the first half there, and not much to report. So at the moment, I'm still in fifth place, guys. Things have to change, otherwise, I'm gonna have to play an extra game, which I want to avoid. And Eddie Johnson with a nice goal there. And that's 1-0. That's all I need. I believe that's Evan Bush, or is it Troy Perkins? So I want to say Evan Bush, and Evan Bush is not happy about that. What a nice pass there by De Leon, and a nice header there by Eddie Johnson, who at the moment isn't playing for DC United because he has a heart condition. So hopefully, as much as I guess the fans here tend to dislike Eddie Johnson, because yes, he can be a bit uptight, so to speak, or to put it nicely. I think he's a great player, and he has the ability to change games when he, I guess, wants to or feels like doing it. The commitment's always been an issue, and hopefully that'll be fixed for this season and for DC United. But his commitment won't be questioned here as he scores his second goal of the game. And with this goal, I think I'm assured at least a third place spot. Because I'm jumping. Well, I guess technically a fourth place spot because I'll be jumping over the Montreal Impact. Anyways, guys, I guess I should also explain how I will be recording the playoff games. Now, originally, what I was gonna do is I was just gonna jumble everything up into one episode, since technically the most games I would be playing would be six, I believe. And typically, I have games of three, or excuse me, 3 games per video. So I figured I'd just make like a extra long video just for the playoffs themselves. However, I realized that if I were to do this, then technically you guys might be tipped off as to how far I've gone into the playoffs. So, for instance, if I were to go to the final and the episode's like 35 minutes long, as opposed to if I only make uh, the quarterfinals and the video ends up being 17 minutes long, that will tip you guys off. So what I'm going to do is actually I'm going to do a video per round. So depending on my situation, if I have to play the playout round, I will basically make one episode for that round. And then an episode for the quarterfinals and an episode for the semis. And then lastly an episode for the final itself. So basically you'll be gaining max 2 games per episode. And I'll make these a little longer just because they're actually less games that I'm playing, so you guys will be able to see more of what I do. So anyways, guys, that's it for this episode. Thank you for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for the playoff videos.